Well, good morning. Chairman Knight, co-chairs Barker and Howell, Chairman Robinson, Speaker Gilbert, esteemed members of the General Assembly, money committees, and most importantly, to your hard-working staffs. Thank you for the very warm welcome. It's been an honor to work with you over these past 2 years to deliver a better and brighter future for Virginia. I'd like to add my special thanks to all of those that are retiring. I particularly want to thank you for loving the Commonwealth of Virginia. There is no partisanship, there is no divide, and there is no disagreement that she is and will be the greatest state in America. And let me offer my warm welcome to our new leaders, Chairman Torian, Chairman Lucas, Chairman Watts, and incoming Speaker Scott and Leader Surville. And to both Lieutenant Governor Earl Sears and Attorney General Miyares, and to the dedicated members of my cabinet, thank you. Thank you for your partnership, and thank you for your support. And Mr. Chairman, I would like to add, most importantly, my recognition to my wife and our First Lady, Suzanne Yunkin. You inspire me every single day. You inspire me with your warmth. You inspire me with your care, for which the Commonwealth is so much better. Here we gather in this amazing and beautiful building. This new building that, yes, we have anticipated for some time now. The Commonwealth began a journey in January of 2022 to fundamentally change trajectory and embrace a future of winning and growth. And today, I am proud to present our Unleashing Opportunity budget as part of a bold, necessary path forward. Unleashing opportunity means that Virginians have great jobs, keep more of their hard-earned money, that their education and training prepare them like no other state, that they live and work in safe communities, that they have support for their health and well-being, particularly their behavioral health, that they live in a state that keeps its commitments to clean waterways, especially the Chesapeake Bay, and that their state government continues to work to be better and to serve better. We must do all of these things because when we started this journey, Virginia was falling behind. Let's be clear, in recent years, our neighbors in North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida have been growing rapidly. Americans and Virginians were choosing to go there instead of here. Each of these states had lower taxes or had started their journey to lower taxes. And meanwhile, Virginia was standing still and therefore has been falling behind since 2013. Across the country today, there are winning states and there are losing states. States that are winning with job growth, population growth, opportunity growth, and other states that are not. From early 2020 to today, America has generated 3.2 million jobs. 10 states generated nearly 3.3 million jobs, while 10 other states lost roughly 125,000 jobs. Those same job-winning states saw 2.4 million of net move-in gains, while the same losing states saw 2.5 million of net resident losses. At the heart of this migration trend, where certain states consistently gather people and others consistently lose people, is the reality that Virginia must compete even harder. When I first took office in January of 2022, Virginia was sadly on the losing side of these metrics. We had 9 straight years of net domestic population outflow, and we were in the bottom third in the nation in job growth. Now, together, we have enacted extraordinary change, and Virginia burst onto the forefront in job growth, surging to number 3 in the nation over the past 22 months. Our labor participation rate is at a 12-year high. We have more Virginians working than ever in the Commonwealth's history. We've together welcomed companies that have committed nearly $71 billion in capital investment, more than 2.5 times any other 2-year period since the data has been gathered for 25 years. We've welcomed major companies like Boeing and Amazon Web Services, Raytheon, Lego, and we've also seen major expansions from others like Hilton and DroneUp and Framatome. And just this month, we announced that Virginia will welcome, subject to a final approval from the General Assembly and my signature, 2 new professional sports teams as part of a visionary sports and entertainment development. I want to thank those from the MEI Commission for your unanimous, enthusiastic, and bipartisan support. Completing this exciting project will require your leadership. I know a world-class transportation plan for the area is critical to all of us, and I look forward to working together to deliver it. You see, Virginia has demonstrated that she can win, but because we continue to lose the personal economic battle, we are still net exporting Virginians. This past year, while the number of Virginians moving away versus moving here from the other 49 states has dropped dramatically at less than 7,000 for the past 12 months versus the average of 14,000 over the previous 9 years, we are still exporting Virginians. In stark contrast, North Carolina has gained nearly 70,000 people per year for 10 straight years. The states to the south of Virginia have been for a dozen years systematically reducing taxes, with Georgia just recently announcing again that they will accelerate tax reductions, and North Carolina announcing that they will accelerate their path to bring rates from 4.75% to 3.99%. So, as we come together at our administration's halftime, with lots of great successes enabled by great teamwork with the General Assembly in what has been and will continue to be a divided government, we must compete even harder together. We must take bolder steps. We must unleash opportunity for Virginians. Now, the economic backdrop to the budget requires caution. When we all left our Gaker meeting in November, it was with overwhelming consensus that we should build in caution, with a modest recession beginning in the fourth quarter of our fiscal year 2024. We therefore include a mild recession in Q4 of fiscal year 2024, lasting through Q2 of fiscal year 2025. This results in flattish revenue through fiscal year 2025 as second half growth balances the first half slowdown. The 2025 recovery continues through 2026, and then with normalized growth into 2027 and beyond. So while this is just under a $58 billion revenue projection over the biennium, the heart of our budget focuses on the key investments that we must make as a Commonwealth in order to unleash opportunity. The first pillar in unleashing opportunity is to reduce the cost of living for Virginians, and it has 2 components. 1, reducing tax burdens for all Virginians, and 2, modernizing our tax code, specifically our sales and use structure. So first, we are cutting income taxes 12% across the board. Yes, 12% across the board. This includes all brackets. The lowest bracket of 2% reduced to 1.75, all the way to the highest bracket of 5.75% reduced to 5.1%. This cut reduces the personal income tax burden on Virginians by $1.1 billion in fiscal year 2025 and $2.3 billion in fiscal year 2026, and is a major step towards competing. The data is clear. Since 2021, 26 states have cut individual income tax rates. Now, the second component is to modernize Virginia's tax code. Virginia has two outdated problems. First, our sales and use tax base is substantially more narrow than our peer states. Virginia taxes a narrow set of goods, while our peer state taxes a much broader set of goods and services. And second, when this narrower sales and use tax combines with our comparatively lower rate of 4.3%, our overall total state tax receipts are underweighted to the more stable sales and use tax and heavily weighted, just over 70%, towards personal income tax. We will modernize and address both these problems by first closing the big tech tax loophole on digital goods to include them as part of the sales and use tax base. You see, Virginia has always taxed goods, and over the last decade, the definition of goods has evolved into new economy goods like software packages, digital downloads, streaming music and videos, cloud storage, and other electronic media on which today Virginia collects nothing. And to be clear, we will continue to not tax traditional services like barbers and lawn care services or other professional services. And now second, in addition, we will raise the state sales tax 0.9% from 4.3% to 5.2%. This will diversify our tax base, and when combined with closing the tax loophole, meaningfully offset the cost of the 12% across-the-board reduction in personal income taxes. And importantly, Longwood's International Visitor Spending Analysis estimates that tourism spending comprises 12.5% of Virginia's sales tax collections. As tourism continues to grow, especially with out-of-state guests, we will partially fund the income tax reductions by these out-of-state guests that we are now providing to Virginians. And for lower-income Virginians, eligible filers will be able to claim an enhanced Virginia Earned Income Tax Credit equal to 25% of the federal EITC on top of the 12% individual rate cut. All told, this bold tax reform plan allows Virginians to keep more of their hard-earned money with a major personal income tax reduction, which is meaningfully offset by a more competitive and modernized tax structure, provides ongoing tax relief of $400 million in 2025 and just under $600 million in 2026. It makes our revenue more stable going forward, and most importantly, it gets Virginia moving to compete to win jobs, win people, and win opportunity. Now, while I'm addressing taxes, there is one topic that is not included in my budget submission, and that is the single most hated tax in Virginia, the locally imposed personal car tax. Eliminating it permanently is complicated, yet it is a very worthy aspiration. And I do believe it can be done, but only with full cooperation from Democrats and Republicans, House and Senate members, and local and state leaders. And therefore, I both invite and challenge my colleagues in the General Assembly to work with me. To work with me to completely eliminate the hated car tax and replace it with a further increase in local sales taxes. The car tax belongs in the trash can, not in your mailbox. The second key pillar to unleashing opportunity is jobs. More good-paying jobs with great companies that choose to locate and expand in Virginia. As businesses choose to invest, more jobs are created and more people either stay or move here. And oh, by the way, our tax receipts go up as well. It really does work. And our key initiatives driving this cycle are working as well. I propose investing an additional $200 million over the biennium in the Virginia Business Ready Sites program so that we can attract the next transformational business. Our initial $100 million deployed last year and the next $150 million in our last budget cycle were well oversubscribed. This is working. The key second ingredient for job growth, talent, requires increased investment in our workforce programs. To attract and train the best talent, my Unleashing Opportunity budget includes $15 million in our workforce recruitment program in one-time spending, $8 million over both years to ensure that students have pathways to success through our community colleges, and another $4 million for Virginia's innovative Earn to Learn nursing education program. And finally, $20 million over the biennium to support internships. To further drive excellence in education, the Unleashing Opportunity budget invests approximately $530 million in additional direct aid over the next 2 years, bringing our total investment over the biennium to $18.4 billion. This marks the largest education spending in any biennium in the Commonwealth's history. In K through 12 education, we continue to invest in great teaching, great schools, and even greater flexible pathways. Let me diverge from the budget and just thank everyone. In September, we worked together to introduce our All in Virginia plan to address persistent learning loss stemming from extended school closures during the pandemic, to advance the Literacy Act, and reverse chronic absenteeism. As of this week, every single school division in Virginia has submitted and is moving forward with their action plans. We are truly all in to help Virginia students not just catch up, but forge ahead. Our Unleashing Opportunity budget recognizes the importance of great teaching, with $61 million over the biennium supporting reading specialists, a $53 million teacher bonus on top of the 2% early raise in teacher salary starting next month that carries into 2025, and another $122 million supporting a 2% pay raise in 2026. We'll continue enhancing flexible pathways through innovative lab schools and dual enrollment. We have 20 current lab school grant applications in motion, 1 school already fully operational, and 3 more recently approved. With nearly all of the current funds spoken for, we include an additional $60 million in the biennium for lab schools. We also enhance flexible pathways by investing $40 million in the biennium for students to earn an industry-recognized credential with their high school diploma, creating our Diploma Plus program. On higher education, we continue to invest $75 million each year to maintain affordable access, but we do require goals and accountability in year 2, along with the continuing investment of $37.5 million in financial aid for Pell-eligible students. We also must continue to foster innovation, research, and institution building. And that's why I'm proposing that we create Virginia's own version of a research triangle, a biotechnology, life science, and pharmaceutical manufacturing innovation network with $100 million in support. And one thing that we know is that coming out of the pandemic, working parents, and particularly mothers, struggled to remain in the workforce because of a lack of childcare options. Right now, over 27,000 children are at risk of losing access to quality childcare out of a result of an unsustainable model built with one-time federal pandemic funds. And that's why earlier this month, we unveiled the Building Blocks for Virginia Families initiative. The Unleashing Opportunity budget includes an incremental $412 million over the biennium, so every low-income working family currently supported continues to have access, and $25 million for startup investments to build capacity in childcare deserts. At the heart of this initiative is ensuring a quality environment for our children and empowering working parents. To unleash opportunity in health and human resources, we'll be allocating $19.7 billion over the biennium, a 17.8% increase over the prior biennium. The most important increase is for the continuation of our Right Help, Right Now behavioral health transformation. We all know it. We are facing a behavioral health crisis across Virginia and across the United States. This crisis is present in our home, in schools, and in our workplace, and is especially acute in our young people. And the 3-year Right Help, Right Now vision to revolutionize our behavioral health delivery system started with a giant leap forward in Chapter 1, signed in September. Year 2 efforts require that we further invest in emergency room alternatives and mobile crisis teams, expand access to school-based mental health, address the challenges in our psychiatric hospital system, and build a best-in-class behavioral health workforce while addressing seriously, targeted, and aggressively the opioid crisis. It's crucial that we keep things moving at pace right now. And to address our foster care system's challenges and the critical need for kinship care, we will invest $18.7 million over the biennium. Friends, we know kinship families increase the general well-being of children and significantly improve their outcomes. Part of ensuring that Virginia is the best place to live and work and raise a family and unleash opportunity is ensuring our neighborhoods are safe. The first step is ensuring we have well-trained and well-equipped law enforcement officers, and continuing the work of our Bold Blue Line plan to recruit and retain men and women of law enforcement in Virginia is critical to that. Funds are also dedicated to establishing the Office of First Responder Wellness at the Department of Criminal Justice Services. Our law enforcement heroes deserve our full support in times of need resulting from stress, resulting from trauma that they endure in their job. As part of this budget, we're enhancing safety and increasing operational efficiency within the Department of Corrections by closing 4 facilities. We're saving taxpayers an estimated $45 million, and we're addressing compression issues within the Department of Corrections team. We are also addressing compression issues within Virginia State Police. One of our most successful collaborations over the past few months has been between our Secretary of Public Safety and Homeland Security, Terry Cole, state police, local police, and campus police to address the rising threats we've seen across Virginia's colleges and university campuses. Our Unleashing Opportunity budget not only enhances safety and security investment on campus, but goes to work to combat the source. We've all seen the news, the dramatic rise in anti-Semitic actions and other religious bigotry across the Commonwealth and across the country. As part of our budget, we're investing $375,000 for the Virginia Holocaust Museum to ensure that our teachers are prepared and equipped to teach the real lessons of the Holocaust. And we include additional funds to improve security grants to houses of worship, synagogues, temples, churches, and mosques. Simply, and I know we all agree, there is no place for hate in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we must fight it together. When it comes to being good stewards of our natural resources, we must continue to fund progress towards our shared priorities, including preserving and restoring the Chesapeake Bay. And I'm proud to report that we have made significant progress. We have achieved 100% of the 2025 federal planning target reduction goal for sediment, 84% for nitrogen, and 70% of the reduction goal for phosphorus. But this also comes with the recognition that there is still a long way to go. Our budget allocates an additional $500 million for key conservation and stewardship programs, including agriculture best management practices, the Norfolk seawall, community flood preparedness, and dam safety. And finally, we must drive efficiency and effectiveness in our state government and fully embrace a mindset of doing more for a little less by advancing the transformation process that enables it. If we want Virginia's government to be fortified and buttressed in the order to function in the future to serve all 8.7 million and growing Virginians, we must identify programs that are overfunded, cut ones that aren't working, and deliver better services to Virginians and do it for less money. Right now, our government spends $250 million every year maintaining and patching outdated IT infrastructure with obsolete systems that date back to the 1990s and have an extraordinarily high cybersecurity risk. In our Unleashing Opportunity budget, I am proposing that a giant first step be taken, that we invest $150 million in one-time funds to bring our critical IT systems into the 21st century. It's the same with real estate. The Commonwealth holds substantial real estate assets. Compared to national standards, we have over 30% excess space. An initial assessment of these assets indicates there is significant potential for value beyond their current use. And when it comes to the workforce, behind the workforce, our dedicated state employees, we've already made significant impact on staff turnover and removed barriers to entry, and we must continue this important work. This is common sense, and I believe it is just the beginning. Finalizing the Unleashing Opportunity budget will require collaboration and teamwork, and it will be a sprint. I would ask us to commit ourselves to deliver a budget on time when you adjourn sine die in March. Virginians deserve it, and I know we can do it. My friends in the General Assembly, I want to offer my gratitude for welcoming me today and for all the work that you've done and will continue to do. And again, to our retiring members, thank you. When I spoke to this group in August, we had seriously hoped that one of our most valued leaders would return for another 4-year term. I'm speaking, of course, about Senator Frank Ruff. And while our Commonwealth is losing a true, faithful public servant, it's richer for the fact that he has served and led on so many important issues. Whether that was pioneering Virginia's Department of Workforce Development and Advancement or establishing the Center for Rural Virginia. I'm proposing as part of our Unleashing Opportunity budget to include an additional $350,000 per year to support the Center for Rural Virginia's efforts. And I'd also ask you to join me. Join me in naming this center the Frank Ruff Center for Rural Virginia in his honor. Senator Ruff, we thank you. Let's forge ahead together. We are already seeing economic growth, academic excellence, and new pathways come to life across the Commonwealth. This is our chance to fully unleash a Virginia that is all she can be. Unleashing opportunity means allowing Virginians to keep more of their hard-earned money, being prepared to take those jobs that are available with a great education, to live in safe communities where they can find the resources they need when they need them, in a state that understands what taking care of God's natural resources really means, with a government that works for Virginians. We're at halftime together, at least halftime of my administration. And I believe we are on the verge of winning the competition for people, jobs, and opportunity. And where the road diverges, we must take the road less traveled, which means putting down partisan politics and picking up common sense. Members of our General Assembly, send me this budget that will unleash opportunity for all Virginians. And I thank you very much again for letting me join you in this amazing new facility. I wish each and every one of you a blessed holiday season and a Merry Christmas, and may God continue to bless the Commonwealth of Virginia.